We've got the real reason Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley is reportedly main eventing WrestleMania 39. Vince McMahon apparently tried to split up the New Day. And we've got an update on Jay White's future. Stay tuned for all the deets. So headed into WrestleMania 39, it's just a couple of weeks away. The card is beginning to flesh out fully, but there's still a bit of a question as to the main events. Now, we know that Cody versus Roman is a lock, but we've still got another night there to kind of...
Yeah, you've got 2 nights of WrestleMania. You've got to fill. You've got to have, and it's crazy that like you used to talk about the WrestleMania main event, and now we get 2 a year.
Yeah, and I'm enjoying the 2-day format, so I'm all for it. 2 huge feature moments, but it was reported in recent weeks that Flair versus Ripley was the favored main event of WrestleMania 39, or at least one of the nights. Although some fans suggested that the rumored tag team title match of the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens should go on last on April 1st due to the popularity of the Bloodline program. Now, this is the other thing, was a lot of people just assumed immediately that's got to be the main event, right? That's the one. That's the main event. But, you know, it's maybe not looking that way, because according to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, political reasons mean Flair versus Ripley will likely headline night 1. A second world title match of Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre was originally scheduled to main event the April 1st show, but that plan was scrapped after The Rock turned down a match with Roman Reigns at the Showcase of the Immortals.
We spoke about that briefly this morning, where they've now got a plan to have a second world title be introduced, and we've alluded to the fact that there would have been a second world title match at WrestleMania should The Rock have been there. So it's interesting that maybe that...
It's just a golden bull. That's the belt.
It's the golden egg from Red Notice that they had. So, like, I'm not surprised that they're going, well, we've got this match that the SmackDown Women's title is a world title that's classed as a world title in the WWE, and they look at it as a world title, which it is. Not surprised they want to put it on as a main event.
No, I'm not entirely surprised by it at all. It'd be nice to have the Bloodline sort of tag blow off situation be there, but at the same time, you know, WrestleMania has 58 main events now, not just the 2.
Exactly.
You know, oftentimes you'll hear, you know, the main events, but then there are other main events on the evening, so it might still have the billing as a main event, but it might not go on last. Now, the political reasons is very vague, and I mean, there's in 2 senses of the word. You've got like real world political, but you've also got wrestling world political. I guess
it could be backstage political stuff.
A lot of rumor, a lot of innuendo. I guess, you know, more stuff might come out about this and the reasons why it was chosen, if this is indeed the route they go down. But only time's going to tell, really, once that big announcement happens.
It's a bit strict for me personally. If I haven't felt, and I mentioned it in Graded, if you watch that, that's on the channel now, that it didn't feel like a WrestleMania worthy feud up until last night. Yeah,
it was kind of just bubbling away gently, wasn't it?
Right, because the Judgment Day have kind of felt a little bit distanced from Charlotte, although they've had a couple confrontations. It's just not felt like this is got the... It sucks to say not worthy of a WrestleMania main event, but we're 2 weeks out. The show's 2 weeks away, and it's only now feeling like there's a bit of heat there. It
kind of feels like maybe a little bit, and I know that it won't be this way because there'll be multiple people working on multiple different sides of the cards, but it feels like we all got so caught up in the Bloodline situation that, you know, maybe there wasn't enough time there to do the build a bit earlier, to have this kind of springboarded a little bit earlier down the line so that we could be in a bit more of a hyped situation right now, but we still have next week. There's, you know, the potential for a lot more. We have social media, so there's any number of things that can drop and go back and forth.
And the bottom line is, it's going to be a really good match.
Yeah, it's going to be brutal.
You know, main event tonight.
Go get that belt, Rhea.
Yeah,
go get that
Rhea.
belt. And now moving over to the other side of the fence, we've had some fun and games going on with QTV. But after several weeks of teasers, it finally debuted on the March 15th edition of AEW Dynamite, with the QT Marshall Helm parody gossip TV segment helping further the feud between TNT champion Powerhouse Hobbs and Wardlow. The angle revealed that Aaron Solo broke into Wardlow's vehicle ahead of his championship loss to Hobbs, and a report from Fightful Select has suggested that the segment was well received by many All Elite Wrestling backstage personnel. More fun and games.
It was actually quite a fun segment. You know, it's good to see. I mean, I know that people aren't the biggest QT Marshall fan, but you know, he's being used here. It's working. It is a shame that Hobbs maybe will be associated for a long term, but we'll see how it goes. You know, it's at least a little bit different for AEW.
I'm all for wrestling being full of hokey, funny, nonsensical, stupid. Bring back Tuesday Night Titans, that level of stuff. Fuji Vice.
Yeah.
Why aren't we getting cutaways like that? I want more of this.
More of this stuff.
Because AEW especially, they've proven they can be really funny before, so just lean right into it.
That
It doesn't all have to be ha-ha,
singing.
but
That was incredible. My
random,
favorite segment.
blisteringly confusing moments like that just wipe you out, and it's too funny not to get all swept up in it, isn't it?
Yeah.
But moving back to WWE now, this one concerns Vince McMahon, who's been slowly creeping his way back toward Gorilla and then toward the headset. I imagine every single time Triple H turns around, it's just like, reaching for the script. But this one concerns the New Day. Now, they're one of the most celebrated acts in modern day WWE. What more can you say about the New Day? But Vince McMahon reportedly tried to split them up repeatedly. The trio were practically
the
sort
top
of at
merch.
the top.
They were the top thing in WWE for 2 years because of they were heels, but they were
they had like thing after thing after thing that you couldn't help.
Yeah, you had Bootios, then you had pancakes, then you had trombones, and then you had Kofi Mania. Like, what?
But a new report from Fightful Select has suggested McMahon made repeated attempts over the years to split the group up. The report states that multiple people who have worked on WWE's creative team have said the New Day themselves clearly stated that they never wanted an on-screen fracture. But McMahon suggested numerous ways to end the trio, such as only referring to them as the New Day when all three were present, and for Woods to turn on Kofi Kingston after winning the King of the Ring tournament in 2021 because it's what a king would do.
That's just for a second.
It's the most American take on how history and kings and stuff works because you just go, King Henry VIII, cut off the head.
Maybe Vince is onto something. We better watch out for Jack because he's a king. So you've got to watch out for him. But yeah, it's strange that Vince would want to break up something that makes them so much money.
Yeah, but it looks like, eventually he got his wishes in a way because the trio were split in the 2020 draft. Big E got kind of kept on SmackDown. Woods and Kingston went to Raw. It became a little bit more fractured. The New Day were then reunited but quickly split again, with Fightful also reporting that McMahon was adamant in his decisions. And a further plan suggested the group to be disintegrated following Kingston's historic Kofi Mania run in 2019. What is it with Vince and happiness? I mean, I've sat here before and said I'd love to see it, just to see what it would be like. But at the same time, you would lose the New Day. Well, you'd lose like one of the best things you've got going.
We saw like a soft split in the New Day when Big E went to Raw and won the WWE Championship. But if Vince wanted to split the New Day and then did nothing with Big E as WWE Champion, why would you do that? Like, why would you split them, lose out on the New Day money and the merch, and then go, I just wasn't feeling it.
It's beyond petty.
I'm so glad they get stuck together, but the future of the New Day is a little bit unclear at the moment because obviously Big E's out injured. Yeah. We don't know about his future. Kofi's currently out injured.
Yeah, he just had ankle surgery yesterday, I believe.
Exactly. So Xavier Woods is the only member of the New Day currently active. He appeared on last night's SmackDown. He actually got a win against LA Knight, which is impressive. But yeah, so we'll see what the future holds for the New Day, hopefully not getting split up.
And we're also going to have a look at what the future may hold for a certain free agent. Maybe one of the hottest free agents in wrestling right now, Jay White, who lost a Loser Leaves Japan match against Hikuleo and subsequently a Loser Leaves New Japan match against Eddie Kingston earlier in the year. Wrestling fans have been eagerly wondering, and there's been a lot of speculation. Hype train's been rolling. Where's he going? WWE seems to be the number one landing spot in conversations.
Most people go, he's really good for WWE. Yeah.
WWE have been talking about him for a while, apparently, maybe interested in getting him on board. I think he'd be a good fit for either company, to be honest, but I think he'd work really nicely in WWE.
He's got a really good character, and I think WWE could do an AJ Styles run with him.
Now, yeah, for sure. But I think that the other thing as well is they're just collecting Bullet Club leaders like the candy.
Dave Finlay next.
Now, he's not been seen since his loss to Kingston at Battle in the Valley on February 18th, with him being unceremoniously kicked out of Bullet Club after his loss, as is tradition. As one of the top names of New Japan, White stock means that a move to either of those companies is most likely, with Meltzer reporting the following in the newsletter about White's potential move. He said, said, regarding Jay White, we're told that White has been talking to WWE but has not signed. He's also talking to AEW. From someone familiar with the situation, they described it as 50-50 which side he would go with. Doing the loser leaves town is weird because if he does sign with AEW, he could still work for New Japan through a bit of a loophole. But I guess he wanted to leave New Japan either way rather than come in for major dates. So did the total exit angle before while still talking with both sides.
It's interesting the 50-50 comment there because one of the greatest kids TV shows that I always wanted to be a part of. But 50-50,
yeah.
Let us know in the comments below if you've ever watched that. But 50-50 going between WWE and AEW. I feel personally he'll end up in WWE.
Yeah.
But
I don't think I want to see him in NXT. I'd like to see him, get that treatment, get the big arrival on the main roster, a big moment for him. But either way, he's going to be an absolute get for whoever does manage to sign him.
It's just giving me deja vu from last year, talking Cody Rhodes, where it's like he's tossing and turning between both sides.
He's not going back to WWE. What?
Exactly, and he appears out the ground, the Cody Vader. Maybe Jay White we'll see in WWE post WrestleMania. Maybe he goes to AEW. We saw a tease from Adam Cole that he's going to have an opponent on the 29th of March.
He rides in on a giant knife.
Oh my God!
Like Eddie Guerrero with hydraulics and everything.
That would be sore.
Loads of people
just straddling a knife.
Don't put your hands back, crowd.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Jay White.
But that is it for your second dose of lovely bumper weekend wrestling news. I've been Sam. This has been Fraser. Make sure you check out Graded, which is up on the channel now with your lovely self.
Oh, yes.
Make sure you stay tuned for all of Adam's streams as well. He's been going through WWE 2K23's My Rise here at youtube.com/cultaholic/live on an evening. So keep your eyes peeled. We might be back in a bit if there's any more news breaks. Bye.